Hey everyone, it's Jeremy with Quietmind Yoga, and today we're focusing on wheel pose, which will do a lot to strengthen the back of the body, especially the glutes and the hamstrings, and pressing through the arms, pretty much the whole back of the body, the obliques and the shoulders, triceps. So all of that is going to be strengthened. You'll want two blocks for this. And I'll show you, even if you've never done wheel pose before, this is a beginner-friendly practice. So I'll show you a way with the blocks that you can ease into it and start to work towards it, and also some modifications and variations. So let's start with the practice here in the supported back bend. So you'll take your blocks, and you will need two blocks for this. So one's at the high sitting, one's at the middle sitting, towards the back of your mat. The middle one's going to come under your shoulder blades on your back, and the top one's going to come under the base of the skull. See, occipital ridge, just a bony point you can even feel on the back of your head. It kind of sticks out. It's kind of easy to find. And you'll kind of move around a little bit till you find a good spot. So you might need to adjust a little bit. It should feel pretty good. We're going to stay for a little bit and get this shape in the body without a lot of effort. So we're in a back bend, and the blocks are doing the work. Our body's being held in the shape. We don't have to effort or engage too much to be there. Palms open beside you. And if you've got a little more range of motion in the shoulders, it might feel good to have the arms a little higher. Maybe even playing with extending the arms overhead a little bit to stretch the pecs and shoulders. And if that doesn't feel good, just bring the hands back beside the body. All right, so this is a wheel pose. Pretty big stretch for the pecs and front deltoids and all of the front of the body. Just as much the back's contracting, the front is extending. And the quads, the core, the abs, the chest, the shoulders, biceps, forearms, everything. Which is why it can be a challenging pose to get into at first, and sometimes considered an advanced posture. So here, as you're in this position, just normal deep breaths. Check your body if there's anywhere that's holding tension in the legs, anywhere that doesn't need to be contracted right now. You might start to feel your arms get a little heavier, and that what felt at first like a stretch in the chest and shoulders might feel just more relaxed now. That's what we're going for, just letting your nervous system know this is the shape we're working towards, and that it can start to create space for that and release any resistance it might have to it. And it's okay if there's limitation, if there is tension and resistance still. That's all part of the practice. It's not that it's always going to go away or we have to get rid of it. But we're giving our nervous system some time to adapt to what we're doing, and as we do that, the body feels safe to stretch and strengthen more over time. Last little bit here, you can extend the arms overhead if you want to play with that, if you haven't already. In wheel pose, we will be extending the arms. You can even mimic that by pressing through the heels of the hands, pointing the fingertips of the five fingers towards the ground, with the heels pressing away. And then we'll release the arms down, come over to one side. And to move the blocks, we'll use those later. Bend your left knee, heel near the tail, right leg extends out, right toes point up, hands lean back. This might already be a good stretch for you. You might stay there if you feel some lengthening in the quad in the left leg. Or if you want more, come down to your elbows. If you do that and your knee pops off the mat, just go back from where you started. Also, if the knee starts to go out really wide, go back to where you started, ease towards these deeper variations. If it feels good, stay there. If you want more, you can come down to your back. Again, same thing. If your knee pops up and moves too much, you can come back. If it hurts your knee, come back. If it hurts your low back, do less. More isn't always better. Even though everything feels safe, it might feel like you need to focus on different parts of the quad. Maybe coming up higher feels better. Same idea here is noticing where the tension and resistance is and creating space for it to soften if it wants to. The quickest way we can influence our nervous system is with deep breaths. And our nervous system is really what decides if we're going to stretch and lengthen muscle fibers or contract and hold tension in the body. And the nervous system just needs to know we're safe. Best way to do that, slow, deep breaths. Start to transition back up and extend the left leg out slowly. Lean onto your left side, bend the right knee. And then right heel near the right hip. Ardha Virasana on this side, it might be up higher, it might feel totally different. My quads are pretty different side to side, so the stretches are going to look different. You might have that experience too. You might want to come down to the elbows or to the back, any variation that feels good for you. Listening to your body. When you feel any sort of pain or major resistance, just do less. Slow, deep breathing. Or if you happen to sit a lot at a desk or in a car, this practice today in particular is a great antidote to that. So we're doing a lot of the opposite kind of movements. Stretching the front of the body, strengthening the back of the body, which is the opposite of what's often happening when we're sitting a lot. It starts to come up. Gentle transition, real easy on the knee. And then here you can take one of your blocks. This is optional, you don't have to do this, but we'll bend the knees into bridge pose. And if you want to use the block, you can there between the thighs to strengthen adductors a little more. Either way, press into the elbows, press into the feet, lift the hips, and we'll focus on strengthening the back of the body. So elbows press down, chest lifts, shoulders back contracts, thighs squeeze towards the center, glutes contract, and then toes, ball of the feet lift, heels drag back. They don't move, but they energetically pull back, push down and back into the mat to contract your hamstrings. So the whole back of the body, your calves as well, we'll get a little bit there too. Whole back of the body contracting and engaging. Press into the triceps, contract the erectors towards the center, the upper back muscles towards the center, the glutes, hamstrings, calves, heels digging down and pulling back. And then we'll let all that effort, contraction go, just taking a moment to rest. Hips back down, resting on the mat. Noticing the wave of tension releasing through the body. 2 more times, we'll contract the whole back of the body. Press feet down, elbows down, lift hips. Root into the heels, lift the ball of each foot, root into the heels and drag the heels towards the center and back. Engage the adductors towards the midline. Glutes contract, back strong. Everything engaging, triceps pressing down. No effort in the neck and shoulders really though, they're just there for the ride. And then holding and breathing, maintaining this contraction. Your next exhale, wave of motion down the spine, down to the ground. Let all of that relax. Move the block if you got it. Knees towards the center, heels and feet towards the edges of the mat. Turn, rock side to side with the knees like windshield wipers. Real, relaxed, gentle, easy, effortless movements. Like it's just kind of happening automatically once you get that momentum going in the legs. Third time, feet hips width apart. You can use the block if you want or not. Elbows press down, feet press down, hips lift, bridge pose. Again, heels dig in, ball of each foot lifts. Heels press in, down, and towards the shoulders without moving. Contract the calves, the hamstrings, the glutes, the back. And we'll keep that in the legs. If it feels safe for everything else, extend the arms up as well. So now you're lengthening the arms, pressing through the heels of the hands, just like you will in wheel pose. And then we'll lower the spine back down. And now less effortful, a couple times here, lower the hands beside the hips. In one continuous motion, inhale, lift hips and arms. The peak of your inhale, everything's at the top. Tips of fingers touch the ground as you exhale. Lower everything back down. The bottom of the exhale, everything lands. Inhale to lift up. And exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift up. And exhale, lower down. Hug the knees in, rock side to side on the back. And then forward and back. Up to hands and knees. To downward facing dog. And pedal the feet out. From down dog, bend the right knee deeply. Turn the left heel down. Press into the hands. And reach back through the left hip. Back to center. Left knee bends, right heel down. Reach back through the right hip. Back to center. Right knee bends, left leg lifts and bends and opens. Left heel towards the tail. Press into the hands. Open left hip towards the ceiling. And then come back down. Right leg lifts. Right hip opens. Right knee bends. Right heel towards the tail. Lift through the right hip. And then back to center. Look between the hands. Step the right foot forward. Left knee down. And then right and hands to the right thigh, lift the chest. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Lower the hands, inside of the right foot, step the right foot out to the right. Lizard pose. If you want more here, down to the elbows. If that feels less interesting, less engaged, less of where you want the attention to be, where it feels right on the muscle, you can come back to the hands if you want. More isn't always better. And then right knee to right corner, pigeon pose. Left leg straight back. Lengthen the spine. Think of a big back bend here, just like we did in the very beginning with the blocks, that sort of shape. And then hands down, back to down dog. Left foot steps forward, right knee down. Low lunge, Anjaneyasana, hands to left thigh. Deepen the bend in the left knee, lengthen the spine. Lower the hands inside the left foot. Lizard pose. Right toes point straight back. Either stay on the hands or come down to the elbows or move in that direction. So somewhere along there might feel the best. As always, it might feel good to move a little bit in the postures. No one says you have to be static and statuesque. You can always move around and feel and try things and listen to your body as you need to, as long as it's safe and aligned. Back to the hands if the elbows are down, and to pigeon pose. Left knee towards left edge of the mat, right toes straight back, and then think of the passive back bend we did at the beginning, the supported fish pose. Lift the chest, shoulders down the back. You can be on the fingertips or the hands. Back to the hands, back to down dog. Step the right foot forward, and then the left foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reach all the way up, slight back bend. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, back to plank pose. Hold for an inhale. And exhale to your belly. Inhale, low cobra, hands float off the mat. Hold and breathe here. Reach the toes back to lift the legs. Again, engaging back of the body, contracting back of the body, just like we will in wheel. Lower back down, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg straight back. And then exhale to step it forward. High lunge, arms up alongside the ears. Turn the back heel down, warrior two. Palms up, reverse warrior. Straighten right leg, hinge into triangle pose. Back to warrior two. Back to the high lunge. And then step forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reach all the way up, slight back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to plank. Hold for an inhale. And exhale all the way down to your belly. Locust pose, fingers point back. Hold and breathe, point the toes. Engage the back. And then we'll lower hands. Down dog. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, step it forward. High lunge as you inhale, rise up. Warrior two as you exhale. Inhale here. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, straighten left leg. And exhale, triangle. Inhale, triangle. Exhale, triangle. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, forward fold at the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reach all the way up, slight back bend. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up, slight back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plank. Inhale, plank. Exhale all the way down to the belly. Locust pose, reach up and breathe. Hold the posture, continue to breathe. And then we'll lower hands under shoulders. Back to down dog. Hold in down dog. You pedal the feet out if you like. And then from here to plank pose. Shoulders over wrist. Step your right hand a foot forward, maybe half foot, a little bit forward, and then turn to your right side. Vashisthasana, side plank. Left arm over right. Feet can stack. Left leg can lift if you want more challenge. Back to center. Plank pose. Left hand slightly forward. Side plank. Stack the feet. Right arm over left. Back to center. Down dog. Keep that strength in the arms. Right leg back. Open the hip. And then bring it all the way over into a wheel variation. Rooted to the feet. Lift the hips. Right arm extends. Back to center. Down dog. Lift your left leg back. Open the hip. Right hand roots down. Bring that left foot all the way to the ground behind you. Root through the feet. Lift the hips. Reach to the left hand. Back to center. Back to down dog. Pedal the feet out. Down to hands and knees. Cat pose, round the back. Cow pose, lower the belly, inhale. Exhale, cat pose, press into the hands. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose, press into the hands. And then to a neutral spine. From here, step your right foot forward. Left knee stays down. Left hand comes off the mat beside you. Right arm opens over left. Deepen a bend in the right knee. Lower left hip towards the ground. Stay there or bend left knee so you're above the kneecap. Reach back with the hand. If you don't quite catch it, move your tail back first to catch it. So you're holding the pinky toe side of the foot to externally rotate and open the right shoulder. Big stretch in the left hip and quad. So engage left heel towards the tail. So engaging left glute, left hamstring. It's not as much ability to engage here, but as much as you can. And then lower hand back down. Lizard pose just for a moment here. Right foot over to the right. Deepen the bend in the right knee. And then we'll step back to hands and knees. Left foot steps forward. Right knee sinks, right hip sinks down. And then right hand off the mat. Left arm over right. Deepen the bend in the left knee. Bend the right knee so you're above the kneecap on the quad. And then reach for the pinky toe side of the foot. Lengthen the spine. There's a back bend happening here. A lot of stretching in the front of the right leg. Slight bend in the right elbow. Arms not locked. And then untwist. Lizard pose. Hands inside of the left foot. And back to hands and knees. And then from here, make any movements that feel good in your body. Forward, back, side to side, listening to your body. And a little more strengthening and balance here as well. So hands and knees, right leg extends straight back. Press to the right heel, flex the right ankle. So the toes are pointed back towards the knee. Left arm extends straight out. Hold and breathe for a moment. Focus your gaze at a single point. If that's too much, you can lower the hand. And then we'll switch sides. Left leg straight back. Toes towards the knee. Right arm extends straight out. Focus your gaze at a single spot about a foot to 3 feet in front of you. And back down. And then from here, we'll come into down dog. Pedal the feet out. press the ground away, lengthening the arms, lengthening the back, and back down to the knees. From here, kneeling position, hands on the low back, fingers point down. Just a mild Ustrasana camel pose. Tuck the toes so the heels are lifted. Press the hips forward, lengthen the spine. Lift the left arm alongside the left ear. Press the hips forward, lengthen the spine back. Right hand to right heel. Left arm keeps lifting. And then we'll come back to kneeling. Left hand to low back. Right arm alongside the ear. Press hips forward, lengthen the spine. Press hips forward, lengthen the spine, arch the back. Left hand to left heel. Keep pressing hips forward, lengthening the spine back. And then back to center. And we'll come down to the back. So I'll show you if you have the two blocks and any sort of wall space, even just a normal wall, you're going to set up the blocks at a sort of incline. So you can do this with the blocks. So say this is your wall right here, and you bring your block leaning against it. So then this spot where the block's leaning is where you're going to press your hand. If you got something like a ledge, even better, press your hand into that. So I've got just that over here. It's not the best angle, but you're going to place those blocks shoulder width apart. If you're well versed in wheel pose, you don't need to do this. You can just go for it. But I've got the blocks just above and above my shoulders, beside my ears, so I can bring the fingertips to point towards the shoulders, elbows point towards the ceiling, and even turn the fingers a little bit out away from the center. So the fingers can point a little bit away from my body. So that helps my external rotation of the shoulders when I come up. So fingers point towards the shoulders or just a little bit away from the body. And then you're setting up just like bridge pose. Feet are hips distance, feet press into the ground to lift the hips. So you're just in bridge in the lower body, everything up to the shoulders. And then press into the hands to come to the top of your head. And evenly distribute weight between the head and the hands. And then press all the way into the hands to lift the head and chest into wheel. And then after a couple of breaths, you'll come down and you'll practice that a couple times. So if you don't use the blocks or the wall space, just on your mat, set up like bridge. I'll guide us through it again. So feet are hips distance, fingers point towards the body and even slightly out. So elbows are a little closer towards the center when you're starting. Bridge in the lower body. Press into the hands, come to the top of the head. Press into the hands to lift the head. And once you're there, the fingers are more pointing towards the heels of the feet. The chest is reaching between the arms. The feet rooting down. And then lower to the top of the head. Back to the shoulders. All the way down to the ground. Knees apart. Like windshield wipers, rock the legs side to side. Real gentle. If it feels better, stay still. Once again, feet hips distance apart. All 10 toes point forward. Fingers point towards the shoulders or slightly out. Bridge pose. Bridge pose on the top of the head with the hands pressing down. Press into the hands, lift the head. Reach the chest through. Root through all of the places of the body touching the ground. The feet, the hands. Engage the back. Engage the glutes. And lower to the head. Back to the shoulders. And all the way down. Soles of the feet together. Knees apart. Supta Baddha Konasana, hand on belly, hand on chest. Normal deep breaths. And then bring the knees back together. Lift your hips a little bit off the mat and scoot them to the right. Bring your knees in to your left. So now your hips are stacked. Slide your left shoulder up away from the hip by pressing into the elbows. So you keep your hips down, press your elbows, lift the chest up, and slide the shoulders longer. Arms open in a T and turn the head away from the knees. If you want more here, you can cross your right knee over your left. And then we'll come back to center. Hips over to the left. Knees into the right. Press into elbows. Lengthen the back. Shoulders away from hips. Arms out in a T. If you want more, cross the left knee over right. Turn the head away from the knees. And we'll come back to center. Hug knees in, rock along the length of the spine. And come to a comfortable seated position. Half lotus, lotus, cross-legged, virasana, whatever feels good. Hands on knees or palms open. Bring attention to the breath coming in and out of the nose, all the way down to the lower belly. Rather than thinking of pulling the air into the body, the way it actually works is that you create space in your body and oxygen fills that space. So these next few breaths, just imagine rather than pulling the air into the body, which is actually not what you're doing anyway, you're just creating space in the belly and the oxygen is filling that space. The diaphragm moves down, the lungs expand, the oxygen fills the space. And you're welcome to stay in seated meditation for longer, otherwise come down to your back for Shavasana, resting on the ground. Palms open, legs open, body heavy and relaxed. And start to make small movements of the fingers and toes, arms and legs. And over to one side. Press yourself back up to sitting. Hands together at the heart, just following the mind to the heart and to each other. Thank you for sharing your practice today. Namaste.